Welcome to Conquering Dreams with the legendary motivational speaker, C.B. Baker. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here's C.B. Baker.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Conquering Dreams with your host, C.B. Baker. I have a special guest for you today.
What's up?
I have Sean Archer. Promise yourself a good day, man. Sean Archer.
That's right.
And it's now trademarked.
Yeah.
So you can't.
Official.
So now y'all out there, y'all can't use that anymore.
Official.
I had bootlegged a couple of T-shirts. Now I got,
You know
now
what,
I can't.
man? Like honestly, if you did, it's cool. And the reason why I say that is because it's bigger than like the funds. It's about the message, the mission behind it. You know what I'm saying? So it's way bigger than, a check. Like it's more so you want somebody to read the shirt. You want somebody to feel the positivity coming into them. You want somebody who had a rough day to just look at it and feel better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that's
what you want, man.
So I called you in today.
You did?
Yeah, I did. And I didn't tell you that we was going to be on camera.
You did, man. I ain't get no haircut. You know what I'm saying? I'm fresh off work. Look like I'm about to go to Bible study. Got my church clothes on and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But real talk, man. Anything for you, brother.
I definitely appreciate it. And the topic I want to talk with you today is fear.
Okay.
And how to overcome fear in order to get to that next level of success.
Now, we just talking fear in general, or we talking about certain types of fear? Because it's levels to greatness and it's levels to fear and failure.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not just, because you could be fearful of spiders.
Right.
So it's a different level of fear. So I just want to get a better understanding on what.
So let's talk about the fear of spiders. Okay. Which, if my wife Sherry was here, as a counselor, she would dive into that one. But let's talk about the fear of spiders. How would you overcome or tell somebody how to overcome the fear of spiders? Like I have a terrifying fear of snakes.
My mom does too. Even on TV,
I can watch it on TV, but like going to touch a snake, how people like, the homies be having the big bowl around.
Yeah.
Like, nah, I can't do that, dog.
Man, she'll have you turn the station if a snake come on. She, woo, Jesus, woo. Like she out the couch, like, man. I think it's hard to tell somebody not to be scared of something that they've been scared of their whole entire life. And it might be a reason why they're scared of it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, man, I used to be scared of ants. And the reason being was because I got bit by them and I must have been allergic or it was a lot of them.
Right.
And I swole up and everything. But because, down south, they got the ant beds.
Right. I know.
And I was playing. And they were like, look. And I looked down and it was just all kind of ants. And, I'm doing like this, running to the house. So for a while, I was scared of them until I found out that, I was more powerful than they were.
Right.
I could burn them. I can put some diesel fuel down and get rid of them. And,
right.
So.
Because fire ants ain't no joke.
They're not.
Right.
So.
For people in Virginia, they don't know, like, fire ants is a real deal.
Man, jokers come out and the mounts be so big, like it's just, and as a kid, you might not be paying attention, you playing. Right. So something like that, something that triggers you from a young age, it's hard to tell somebody, oh, don't be scared of that. Right. Somebody gets bitten by a dog, they might not ever want to be around a dog. And it's just a fear. So it would take someone that they really trust, maybe a professional,
right?
Somebody to actually, try to help them conquer their fear and get them around a dog or, get you to play with the snake. Maybe we start with a small snake and we get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger just to ease your tension. So, but if it's something that has plagued you for a long time, it's hard to break that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't really have too many fears. I just, I look at,
So when you wrote your first book, did you have any fear about going into writing that?
I had, no, I'm gonna tell you what I had fear with. I wrote an article about when I stopped drinking, and it was real personal. It displayed a lot of my flaws that some people may not have known. So, if you know me, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that night. You know what I'm saying? But people that didn't, I was like, and I was writing it, and I was just like, man, I don't think I'm gonna post this. Oh, I ain't gonna post this.
Right.
And it was just like, well, you wrote it for a reason. So go ahead and post it. And I posted it, and it like took off, and people, were saying like, hey, I needed that, or I got an uncle going through that, or just different things. And you really can't have a fear, like, you know what I'm saying? Especially something that you've never done before, because there's no expectations on you. Like when I write the second book, the second hardback copy of a book, it's going to be a little bit more pressure because people are going to be expecting certain things.
Right.
So now you got to live up to their expectations. But even then, it's not really a fear. It's just you don't want to fail.
Right. So let's go back to that moment when you wrote that article and you're about to hit send on the button or publish on the button. Okay.
Post.
Right. And you're about to hit that button.
Yeah.
What was going, like, how did that feel?
After about 5 good minutes of like deliberating on if I was going to do it or not, I just had one of them F it moments. And I just was like, and it was like, what's that? Because you about to go see Creed, right?
Right.
So the Rocky, when he say if he dies, he dies. If he lives, he lives. Like that was how I felt. Like if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. But it meant a lot to me.
Right.
And sometimes, we try to like, do so much for other people that we forget that we're people ourselves and that we should do more for ourselves. Mm-hmm. And, people actually appreciate you more than you may know it. And a lot of times people appreciate you more than you appreciate yourself.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree with that. Because a lot of people, you go through life and most people are overly critical of themselves, because like you go through stuff and I see you doing well, or you did the book and everything looks great and it's successful. But then you're thinking about, man, I ain't really like that chapter 3. Or that chapter 4 could have been much better. So you're like, you may be going through your head about what could have been better, but I don't ever see that. And, the crazy thing is I tell people who go up in front of people to speak and they be like, I wonder if I forget this part. I said, guess what? Nobody in the audience knows
that you forgot that part.
You forgot the part. They don't know your routine. So if you forget it, just keep moving. But if you try to reverse back, a lot of seasoned comedians will be able to reverse back. If a heckler gets on them, then they'll reverse back to the previous joke to get back in routine. But those are the seasoned vets in comedy. But as a speaker, if you're just brand new to it and you're already nervous and everything, if you forget something, just keep pushing forward because nobody knows that you messed up. Only person that knows that is you.
I mean, that, I learned that from, doing music. If you mess up, just keep going. Ain't no sense of, I messed up, because now the people know you messed up. Mm-hmm. Half of them probably didn't know the song anyway, so just keep going.
Right.
So the expectations of others can lead people to feel some type of way. And like you said, we overcritical of ourselves. Like, oh man, I should have did this different. I should have did that different. But at the end of the day, man, a lot of things can be fixed and edited. So when you make a mistake, just go back and fix it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a new era of technology. So if I made a mistake in my book, I can always just go back and change it. Right. Or if I miss something, I can always go add it and make that volume 2. Right. It's so easy, but people will beat themselves up to the point where they may fall into depression because they're so critical and hard on themselves. When in our reality, they should hold themselves up high and just, we put so many celebrities on pedestals, but we don't put ourselves up there. And a lot of people just don't get it. like how dope they are.
Right.
You know, how successful they are. You know, because they don't have a mansion, they feel unsuccessful. But when they come into their apartment, whether it's a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, they flip the light switch, the lights come on, you are successful.
Right.
A lot of people, you know, I'm broke, but you paid all your bills, so technically you're not broke.
Right.
You know, you don't have any extra cash, but you were able to pay all your bills. You got groceries in your refrigerator. You just may not have the influx of cash to go do the things that some of your friends are doing. But what you may not know is that some of them may be behind on their bills.
That's right.
So that's why they out.
Right.
You know, a lot of people, you know, Black Friday coming up, they gonna ball out and be like, we're gonna get them bills later.
Right.
So you can't always judge somebody else's story because you don't know, you know, you might be reading a chapter, but you didn't read the chapter before.
Right.
You don't know how it's gonna end. You just worry about yours. You know?
Right. Because, you know, a lot of people don't, like right now, like I always say, I always tell you, like, you about to blow up. But see, right now, then to me, like the people in 757 know who you are and what you're doing, and from day one to now, right?
Yeah.
But then when you go on the national level, it's gonna look like, man, they got blew up overnight. Say it's 3 years from now, 5 years from now. Man, it blew up overnight. But no, they've been doing this thing for a minute. You know, a lot of people miss that whole grind and that journey of you sitting at your 9 to 5, your eyes bleeding, looking at a computer, and you know, you're like, man, but I gotta keep doing it. But then you go home at night and you grind it out, and typing on that book, you know, because I can just imagine. Because you looking at a computer all day at work and come home.
You got to do the same thing.
Right. Then looking at another computer screen.
Like, for real, like, honestly, you know, this is like a sidebar tangent thing. I took a break. I didn't announce, like, I'm taking a break. I just took some time off. I said Sunday I was going to get back to work, you know, and I just took some time off to just be regular and to do something that I want to do 100% just for myself. Because a lot of things that I do, I enjoy doing it, but it's always for somebody else. So it's like, this the one time I want to do something just for myself. So I took some time off, man. I just, you know, get home, play me some 2K, and I'm just in my own little bubble, you know, and it's to recharge. Because a lot of times, you know, you give, and then you realize that you're empty.
Right.
And you can't give people what you don't have.
Right.
So you know, I can't just make up these quotes every day. Like, I have to have some time to recharge. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're making the quotes. If you're not like, if you're getting them from somewhere else, you're good. Right. But if you're making stuff up, at some point you're going to run out unless you have a team of people. But then how authentic is that? You know what I'm saying? So I took some time off, man. But, you know, get back onto like working, writing, and doing your craft. You know, the book, man, I started the book when I was working at the shipyard, man. And it was tough because I didn't have the opportunity to have the free time. Right. So I did a lot of writing like 5 o'clock in the morning because, you know, the parking situation is crazy. So you get there early, you get you a spot, and you just sit in your car. So it's just dead time. So I would take that dead time and I just was writing in my little BlackBerry. And I just was writing. And that's how I started. You know, I didn't wake up one day and be like, I'm going to write a book. Like, it just happened. And, you know, I realized that is one of my talents, you know, based off of how I did in college, like writing papers and the proficiency and the speed that I would do it. Yeah, I would procrastinate. Right. But I would knock that 8-page paper out in 2 hours. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like straight, no mistakes, like boom, boom, boom. Right. So, you know, but it is hard to get up every day, go to a job that you may or may not like, to put food on the table, to have insurance. And then when you get off, you got, you know, you may have kids, you got family, pets, you might have routines for yourself. You know, you might be on a softball team or something, things that you have going on, and you still got to devote time to your craft. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it can be overwhelming, and people, you know, sometimes they'll just fall off. That's why I took a break, so I don't fall off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like in general, I made a pledge to myself, hey, Sunday, I'm going back to work. Like Sunday, from eating better, working out, like, because it all starts within, so your mentality, I'm gonna start back getting up early. I'm gonna start going to bed early. Like, I'm gonna get back into my routine of how the energy that I want around me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So
you mentioned getting up early. One of the things that I started following, I read a book called Miracle Mornings, and he talks about, I can't think of the author's name right now, but he talks about waking up early, and he studied all the different people out there. Mm-hmm. And he found out that most people successful people wake up early, like talking like 4 a.m. Uh-huh. and do this thing called savers: silence, affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing. And you do that every morning. And I did it. And I took a little challenge for 30 days. Completely changed my life. Uh-huh. And the ironic thing, once you learn how to do it, and you can start combining some of the things, like if you're walking, you can walk, which is exercise, and listen to an audiobook. So you're walking and reading, so you can combine some of the stuff. But when you first start out, I do suggest doing that separately, like silence, complete silence. Then I got a book on meditation, and just learning how to just be able to sit still, and not move. Like, and you think about that, it's like, oh man, that should be easy to do. And it's okay to do that for 15 minutes. Like, don't move. Even because all of a sudden stuff start itching, like you start feeling different things, and it's weird. And because you're like, you start twitching and stuff. You're like, where is this coming from? Because your body is not used to just sitting
still, unless you sleep.
Right. And then some people, sleep wild, so it took me a while just to get that down. Then the book talked about how to go through the breathing and then letting the random thoughts go through your head. A lot of people, like, when they meditate, they get frustrated because the random thoughts get stuck. And instead of them meditating, they're thinking about the thought. And then you got to learn how to let the thought pass. Mm-hmm. Let the memory pass. Like, you may think of something that happened in your childhood. Like, you don't, like, the most random things come in your head when you're trying to meditate. But those, you got to let it go through. And then the ironic thing is, when you're meditating, some of the things that you didn't seek closure on come up that you got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like, some stuff that happened to you that you kind of just, all right, well, it ain't a big deal. But then it was a big deal, but you just kind of shut the door on it. Yeah. But when you start meditating, it's going to come back up. And then that's when you got to deal with it. Let the emotions come through. Like, if you end up bawling, crying, or getting angry, let it pass through so you can let it go. Because we walk around, brother, like all the time as people holding stuff for years. And that thing that happened to you when you was 12 years old, where the bully on the street punched you in the face and you didn't do nothing back, and you keep thinking, man, if I wish just went ahead.
I wish I would have just
right. So, but now you can't do nothing about it.
Yeah, you can't.
And the crazy thing is, I got a guy that we got to fight years ago. I'm talking about when I was in like middle school. I found out that he lives in the area, right? So when I saw him, all of that came back. Like, and I'm grown, and it's like, okay, I want my rematch right now. This is something that happened when we was like 13 years old.
What you say?
I didn't say anything. I just said, man, it's like to see, I ain't seen you in years. But that's how crazy that is. Like, you don't think about that you holding that in.
Hey, listen, man, I ran into a guy, because I can't say like my old life, you know what I'm saying? Because I am who I am.
Right.
But me and this guy, we got into it because I got a dog from him, right? I bought a dog from him. And then, like, let's say 10 months later, he had another dog. He was like, I want to keep one of her puppies, I already got one. I want to keep the other one, but I can't have but two. And we're going to get rid of her. You want her? I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take her. You know, I took the dog. So the agreement was first litter, he gets a puppy. I was cool with that. So she ended up having 13 puppies. So now the greed kicks in. He wants 2 puppies. And I say, look, man, they already sold. I said, you said 1. That was the agreement. It was 1.
Right.
And I just remember we got into it so bad behind the dogs. And I remember telling him, I was like, well, since you'll be greedy, you'll get nothing now.
Right.
So you don't get nothing. And, you know, at that point in my life, I didn't have much. Right. So I didn't have anything really that I felt to lose. So I was just like, you get nothing. If you got a problem with it, it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? And he was talking, and I was like, man, I said, listen, man, I said, this is my exact word, I said, you a family man. I said, I know you live. I said, don't play with me. Right. Like that, you know. So I was at I was in the service at the time, man. And I remember I was at the schoolhouse, and I was waiting for a class. So I'm in there, you know, they make you sweep and mop the floors and just kill time. So I'm in there. He comes in there. He worked at like a whole nother building. He comes in there and he started talking to me. And he was like, what's up, man? I was like, what's up? You know, like, what's up? Right. I said, you're not getting no dogs. Like, you mess your turn up, you're not getting nothing. Like, they're gone. So he says, shipmate, tuck your shirt in or something, he said. And I just went on. I said, don't come to my job. Right. Trying to be street. And then now you want to be professional. Mm-hmm. So they come outside, you know, like, what's going on here? They call in the office. I said, I'm going to keep it all the way real with you. He come up here, you know, on some street stuff that has nothing to do with this job. He don't even work here. Right. And then he wants to try to chastise me because he outranks me in the service. So I didn't hear nothing from him. He didn't get the dog. He didn't get neither one of them. Nothing. He got nothing. So I saw him one day in Farm Fresh, man. And I was pushing the cart, and I don't remember if my youngest son was born yet or not, but I know I was with his mother pushing the cart, and I saw the guy. Mm-hmm. Last time I seen him, we was like this, you know what I'm saying? So only thing I know is the cart was pushing itself, and I was looking at him. Because I don't know, you know, the type of energy we had the last time we spoke. I don't know if it carried over these years. Right. I can't be dumb and think like, oh, we good. Right. And then, you know, I'm pushing the cart and you clothesline me in Farm Fresh. So I'm like, man, you know, what's up, you know? I gotta be prepared, you know, because he won't no little dude, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta be, you know. So he said, I'm not even on that stuff no more, man. He said, he's like, I'm a Christian. I don't do dogs and stuff. And I was just like, all right, cool. You know, cool. Like, all right, nice talking to you, you know. And then, you know, she was just like, what happened? What was that? And I explained the story. And, you know, looking at where I'm at in life now, it just makes me appreciate his point of view. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because the things I was doing 2-3 years ago, I'm not doing it now. Right. So if something was to come back, I gotta be like, I'm not like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I got into this guy in the parking lot of a club, man, and I wasn't even doing anything. I really wasn't. A couple of my friends were going to their car, and I was at my trunk of my car watching them go to make sure they got to their car safe, you know. And I was actually laughing because it was a dude trying to talk to him. I was laughing at him, you know what I'm saying? Right. And these guys walked up and they was kind of funny looking, you know. And the guy looked at me, he said, you think you all that, don't you? And I was like, who are you talking to? He was like, yeah, you look like you got Navy Federal. I was just like, what does that have to do? He's like, yeah, you think you all that. You got Navy Federal, don't you? And I was like, what's wrong, man? Like, what's up? And like, he walked up on me and, you know, don't let promise yourself a good day fool you, you know what I'm saying? Because I will promise you a good day in a good way, you know what I'm saying? But I was just sitting there and I was like, yo, look, man, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't want no trouble. Right. I said, because I talk to kids, man. I write books. I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was well prepared to take it there.
Right. But
that's not the wavelength that I'm riding. Like I'm on positive vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like the other radio station might be negative vibes. I'm on this positive tip. I have no time to beef with you behind I looked at you funny or I stepped on your shoes or like it's more to life than that. And it was just strange how quickly something can escalate just behind somebody, you know, looking at you. And, you know, I don't drink, so I'm 100% sober. And I'm pretty sure he was intoxicated. And he was just like, yeah, you look like you think you all that, you know. And I was like, all right, bro, like, have a good day. Like, you know, make sure you get home safe. Like, that was the way I carried it, but you never know.
Have you found yourself in situations like that after becoming a more positive person? Like people trying to drag you down?
Nah, for the most part, man, like a lot of people, especially people that know me, they like, man, you know, I like what you're doing. You know, can you put me on? And so it's not, like I'm not doing something that people necessarily can hate on. You know, like some things people do, you could hate on them. Like, she can't braid that good. She thinks she all that. She did a couple heads. Now she got a little shop, you know, everything little, you know. Like I'm not, like I'm literally trying to save the world. And if you hate on that, like if you hate the Pharrell Happy song, that says something about you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like the song, Because I'm Happy. Yeah, you can get tired of listening to it. But if you literally hate that song, why?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
it's more a reflection of yourself.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't really had any, issues with anybody behind it, man. Like a lot of people respect it, you know, and I'm grateful for everything that I went through in life because otherwise what kind of testimony would I have without all of those tests that I did have? Right. You know, all those mistakes that I made. You know, the same way I go talk to them kids, I have those same talks at home with my kids. You know what I'm saying? The difference is it's not on a platform. You know, a guy was telling me the other day, like, man, you should pull out your phone and record it. I was like, but it's not that simple. You know, if we're just sitting here and we're eating breakfast and I start going on a tangent, like, hey, son, you need to make the right decisions and, you know, college is upon you. I don't have time to be like, oh, let me get my phone. Son, you need to get it together. You know what I'm saying? Like some things.
Like everything don't have to be captured.
Everything doesn't, you know. And a lot of time I let other people capture stuff, you know, because that makes it real. You know, I was in Home Depot like a weekend ago and a lady saw my hoodie. She was like, oh, I love that. And I was like, you do? She was like, yeah. And I walked to the car and I got her one. You know what I'm saying? Because I just felt like blessing somebody. Right. You know what I'm saying? And because she asked me how much it was and she was like, oh, that's a lot. And I was like, don't worry about it. You know, don't worry about it. And I didn't record me giving it to her. Like I recorded, hey, I'm about to go do this. Right. And I went and did it. And when I walked out, I recorded again. I didn't want to be like, hey, is it okay if I record us doing this right quick? Right. Can I get a picture? You know, some things it's just better to be natural. Right. You know, so, and I know we talked a lot about other stuff, man. So we're going to get back on fear.
No, we're good.
I just, you know what I'm saying? Because I can go.
Yeah, I know you can go. You like me. I can go. On stuff like this, we can go all day. So, but you're right. Let's bring it back to fear. So, I have found that for people that have something they want to do in life, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna give it more personal. I just recently took the trip to Dubai that my wife booked. Mm-hmm. And I can honestly say 5 years ago, I'd have never went on that trip. I would have had all types of excuses. I'm too big for the airplane seat. What I look like going to. Back then, I thought it was in India. It's like, I don't want to go to India. Then when I found out it was in, the Middle East, but I ain't going to the Middle East. They be blowing people up in the Middle East and stuff like that. No, man, you know how long of a flight that is? I would have had all these excuses.
That's a flight, bro.
So Sherry was like, this is how it happened. I'm sitting on the couch in my bedroom, watching TV, watching the game. Sherry would say, they got 2-for-1 sales on Emirates going to Dubai. I said, what the hell? So I ain't thinking nothing of it. Mm-hmm. 2 days go by, she said, I got the tickets to Dubai. I was like, huh? And she got the seats, got, Buckhead Row and everything. Not thinking, we go talk to a guy that I know that travels to Dubai a lot. Are you going business class? Like, no. He said, you can't do that flight unless you're in business class. We'll go business class. It's $6,000 in business class for one seat. So now the sale is over with. So if we want to go in business class, it would cost us $12,000. Mm-hmm. So, but right now we're on the plane for $1,500. So I said, you know what? We'll just stick with the $1,500. So we go over there and have a blast. And I've been telling everybody, it's like, man, if you haven't been to Dubai, especially as a black man, you got to go. Mm-hmm. And there's a major difference being in a country that's ran by brown people versus white people. And I'm going to leave it at that. Okay. Yeah. It's a completely different experience for black people in general. So me and Sherry was like, man, we don't want to go back home. It was that much of a difference. But that fear that I had to let me go out of the country, right? And it started with the first trip we went to Jamaica. Okay, I gotta get a passport. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm nervous about getting a passport. Cause if you've been to DMV and you get to that lady,
they're gonna reject me for a passport. Right. I can't do it. I can't do it.
So then I finally get the passport and everything. And then we go to Jamaica, then we go different places. Then we went to Paris, and then, the Paris flight was straight, but once again, 5 years ago, would have never even thought about going because I had an internal fear about leaving the country and will they let me back in?
Okay.
Will I get lost? Because if you know me, like, I don't like being somewhere I don't know where I'm at as far as my environment wise. I even freaked out when I went to Hawaii because I couldn't get off the island. It was a phobia that I had that I didn't know I had. Yeah. But then once you get past it, I'm good. But I noticed that about myself, and I noticed that about other people as well, that they have stuff they want to do in life, but something is always holding them back. But then if it's always something, it's not just something, it's you. So what do you tell yourself, your kids, your wife, or people in general that you run across that you see a certain amount of fear holding them back from doing something they really want to do?
The first thing I tell them, honestly, I say just do it.
You just straight up and down Nike.
Like straight up Nike. Like, somebody telling you they sitting there, they telling you what they want to do, what they finna do, what they wish to do, what they could have done.
Right.
And I'll just be like, just do it. I don't know where to start. Just start. So sometimes the reply is always what they say. Right. So they're like, I don't know what to do. Just do it.
Right.
But I don't know where to start. Just start. But what if the people don't like it? Give them something anyway. Give them something that they have a chance to like.
Right.
But if you go into it with the mind state of, I'm going to fail, the people are not going to like it, other countless negatives, that's the energy you're going to get. And everything's not going to always go the way you wrote it out or you planned. But if you wrote out your plans and your goals properly, you have the next step anyway.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like the Mega Millions. So you played it because it was $2 billion. You played it.
Right.
And you got 3 of the numbers and you didn't get it. Mm-hmm. But you got 3 of the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you didn't win, but you did better than I did because I didn't get none of the numbers.
Right.
And sometimes people look at it like, well, I only won $1,000. They look at it as a failure because the stakes are so high. They could have won $2 billion, but they only won 1,000. So they look at it like, oh, I didn't get it. I only got 1,000, but they won.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to take those small like accomplishments, those small victories, and you have to truly embrace them.
Right.
Because if you don't embrace a small victory, how are you going to even be satisfied with the great one?
Right.
And like I tell my younger son Quest all the time, like, because he badgers me about getting an Xbox One. He got a 360. I say, son, appreciate what you have. I said, you're going to be blessed with a new one. I said, but you need to appreciate what you got. Because how are you going to prove to the person who's going to buy it that you deserve it?
Right.
Because you're not taking care, people, they may have a Honda Civic, 1998 Honda Civic, and it doesn't run that good. But if you see that kid or that person, they always at the car wash, they always at the dealership, they make sure they got gas in their car, they love their car. You get in, they like, you can't eat in here.
Right.
That person is ready for that $200,000 car.
Mm-hmm.
They're ready for it. When the blessing comes, they're going to be ready. But, if you got a raggedy car and you're like, man, I just want that act. I want that new act, man. I need that new act. You're going to do the same thing you just did with this car.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't change because the car is expensive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You wasn't doing maintenance on this car. So you really think you're going to do maintenance on that car?
Right.
You wasn't putting gas in this car. This would take 93. Right. So are you really, you have to be able to appreciate the small things. So, if you want $1,000 in a Mega Millions, be grateful.
Yeah. Another thing a lot of people forget too, that successful things have a price.
They do.
What we consider successful things, like material things, right? Just say, okay, I want a BMW. Okay, well now you got to put premium gas in it. Oil change is $200.
Yep.
You
car
just can't,
payment.
Right, car payment. And the tires is not, you can't go to Walmart and get tires. Tires can run you $600, anywhere between $300 and $600 a tire.
You can't even turn off the oil change light. You got to go to the dealership for them to turn off the light.
Right. And that's sticker shock for some people. Like, even with people that get houses, they go buy a house. All of a sudden, man, I got to take care of the yard. So yeah, you got to go get a lawnmower. Then you got to go cut the grass. If you've been living in a condo or a townhouse, with no yard, then now you got to do all this. You ain't thinking about that. Or you thinking about the one I like. What is PMI on the mortgage statement? Yeah, it's your mortgage insurance. You got to put 20% down to get rid of that in some cases.
People don't understand, and it's all about keeping up with the Joneses.
But is that fear of not knowing what the next level is like keep people from even trying to achieve it?
I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know some people are brainwashed or taught or educated that money isn't good.
Mm-hmm.
So in reality, they're fearful of having too much money.
Yeah.
So they'll tell you money's the root of all evil and money is this, money is that. And I don't think money is any of those things. Money just enhances who you really are because you have the money to do certain things. So if you're used to money or you're used to living life, just because you have the money doesn't mean you're going to go do anything reckless. And in our community, we look at a lot of things from a brand perspective, whereas the people who really have the money, they don't. And how do you keep money? You don't spend as much, you invest a lot, you save more, instead of buying, Gucci purses and pocketbooks, but you only got $20 in them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when I seen the Mavericks win a championship some years back, Mark Cuban came on the court. He had on some regular Wrangler jeans and
a t-shirt
and some busted white sneakers.
Right.
you would never see a thousandaire dressed like that.
Right. No. I'll tell you right now, if I own a team,
he's a millionaire, close to billionaire.
He's a billionaire.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And you would never see a thousandaire, somebody who makes $40,000 a year, $80,000 a year, dressed like that. They about to get an award or something. They got their best outfit on.
Mm-hmm.
They went online. They got them sneakers with the wings on it. They don't even look good. They got the new Yeezys and they got their new outfit and they're flexing.
Right.
But I don't know, man. Because you want the greater things in life, but as you get older, you realize that certain things just don't.
So are you saying that our community, on one hand, is fearful of money, but then also don't know how to use money when they do get it?
Yeah. And not everybody,
right?
But a vast majority of our people, they don't.
Is it the money or is it the success?
It depends on how you want to measure success.
Yeah. Because we do have a lot of like celebrities that we put on, like you was talking about earlier, we put on a pedestal. And then we watch them fall off the pedestal. Say, well, that's what happened. He got too big. Like with the situation with Bill Cosby. See what happened? He got too big. All the black actors, look at Russell Simmons. He got too big. Boom.
That was like a whole nother.
All right, but I'm just saying, but those type things, when you look at it when you step back from it, you do see a successful person that's been has a successful life. Everything was going good. Then boom, it falls off. And then you hear about, you don't hear about the fact of like Magic Johnson and how well he's doing. You know what I'm saying? You always hear about the falling off of the black celebrity. Like, I mean, because
it's a good story. Don't nobody want to hear about how good you're doing for too long.
Right.
That's no fun. It's boring. The shows on TV, Basketball Wives and Real Housewives, and like it's all some drama somewhere in those films. Like it's some type of catty drama. If it's too good, like Remy and Papoose show was on, right? And old lady, she said, yeah, this day show, it's a little boring because they don't have that much drama going on. So it's like, how long are you going to tune in to just watch these people be perfect?
Right.
Or have minimum arguments that, you may have at home that's resolved by the end of the episode. Like you want people come across the table, like you just want that drama. So the Magic Johnson story, it's a great story, but the people really don't want to hear it.
Yeah. There's a post that's out right now, and he talks about how when he got on and people started trying to come to him, once they found out he was a good businessman, tried to come to him on a different level, like a level down here. And he's like, I'm sorry, I'm up here. You got to come up here to do the deals that I'm up here with. Because the same amount of energy that take to do a big deal is the same amount of energy it takes to do a small deal. And I've heard other people, it was ironic because I heard other people say that, and other billionaires. And he said that's what billionaires told him. And it's interesting that when he said that, because I thought about the guys that always say, man, I'm always going to ride with my day ones. I'm always going to ride with my day ones. But like, okay, but what if your day ones went nowhere? Are you still going to, I understand you reach back and assist, but if they come to you up here and they come to you with a deal that's down here and they want you to put in on it, what do you do? Like Magic is basically just said, I'm up here. I'm not coming down here. I wish you the best. But does the mentality of looking out for your day ones hold a lot of black men back?
I mean, you are the company you keep most of the time. And if you're elevating, you're growing, you're going to attract different type of people.
Right.
You know, and it's all based off your energy. Your energy attracts other like-minded energy. So if you're around a bunch of average, you know, regular Joes, that's what you're going to get. If you hang out with somebody that, you know, is in college and they really grind and they networking, you hang around them, you're going to eventually meet some of the people that they're interacting with because you're around them.
Right.
So now, how you doing? Hey, I'm such and such. Okay, you know, got a business card. You're meeting these people and it's putting you in a different lane. Mm-hmm. But if you're over here with your buddy that's going to college and all he's doing is sitting in his dorm room smoking weed and, you know, doing other drugs, that's what you're going to get. So now you're just meeting, you know, hey, dude, let's party. Yeah, that's what you're meeting. So you're not getting a chance to expand. And I know a lot of guys, man, that they get stuck with these my people. And that's okay that those are your people. But y'all been doing the same thing since last year, the year before. I guarantee you, Friday night, he's about to get a bottle. Like, it just happens. And at some point, you got to step up and say, I want more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want more, not only for me, but for my kids or my little brother, my little sister or my mother. Like, I want more. Mm. You know, I want more for my community. I want more for this. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I was at, you know, because I was.
So did you pseudo kick your day ones to the curb, or what did you do to handle that? I know it's probably come up.
Man, like for real, it's not that you kick them to the curb, but we're doing two different things. And, you know, like one of my best friends, man, like we're doing two separate things. And we talk pretty much every day. But we're not around each other as much because I'm doing XYZ, he's doing XYZ. Right. But if he needs me, I'm there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If it's like something with the kids, we link up, you know. But the regular everyday we hanging, it's two different. We doing two different things.
Gotcha.
So it's like oil and water. It doesn't really mix. You know, it doesn't mean that I don't love you. It doesn't mean that we're not friends. You know what I'm saying? But like I got another like friend I was with like all the time. And he had got locked up and he came home. You know, I held him down when he was gone. Like I was sending him money, this, that, and the third. He came home and when he came home, I just realized, like, man, this dude, he don't want this stuff for his life like I want for mine.
Right.
You know, like I was letting him stay with me for a little while, and I would get off work. You know, you tired, you want to come from work and take clothes off and get comfortable. And he was looking at me like, where we going? Let's go out. And I'm like, bro, you've been in this house all day.
Right.
I've been at work. I want to be here. You don't want to be here.
Right.
You know, and we just outgrew each other. You know what I'm saying? Because he ended up going back in jail and, you know, coming home again and you don't got the money that you used to have. So now you don't even look the part and everything is just grumpy. Something happened to you and it's this person's fault. And the energy I move with the energy of if something happened to me, it's my fault. I'm gonna own up to it. I'm not gonna blame you. Like, oh well, you know, I wouldn't have been late getting home if CB didn't ask me to do the podcast. Like, no, I chose to come do this shit. You know what I'm saying? So whatever happens after happens. When people look in the mirror and actually can own up to their own stuff, that's when they're better off. Right. So if you have to leave somebody behind, you have to. You know what I'm saying? Like you came into this world, it was you. Right. You know, you went to this elementary school, you met these guys. You went to this high school, you met these guys. You know what I'm saying? But overall, you came out of the womb like it was you. Right. So when you go into the ground, it's you. So you have to take care of you. You know what I'm saying? It's great to have people along for the ride, but you got to take care of you. If it doesn't benefit you, and I'm not saying be selfish, like, but if it doesn't benefit you in some type of way, what is it that you're doing? And that's even with like business, like, hey, I got this business deal, let's do this, let's do that. Okay, but how does this benefit me? Like, what do you, I'll give you some exposure. You know, I'm good on that. Like, how does this benefit me?
Right.
You know, and you got to look at friendships like that sometimes. Like, how does this friendship benefit me? Like, when I call you, am I going to just hear your damn problems for the whole hour we on the phone?
Right.
And then when I start talking, you be like, all right, now I'm going to talk to you later.
Right. They
like,
calling you to dump
they dump theirs, but then when it's your turn,
right.
Oh, bro, let me call you back. I'm busy. Or you say, they call you, be like, hey, man, you know, I just want to let you know, bro, I lost my job today. And you know, if you could lend me some money and
right.
and then, you know, you do it over and over again. And then one day, you know, your job closes or something bad happens and you call them and you say, hey, man, you know, I just need $50 to hold me over till I get paid. Oh, no, man, I ain't got it, man. I ain't got it. But then you see them on Instagram in the club holding 2 bottles.
Right.
That makes you reevaluate the relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if anybody ever calls me and asks me for something, I try to give it, you know. But when it comes back around,
right,
and I'm not gonna argue with you,
right?
But that's it. You know what I'm saying? I loaned somebody some money. I don't remember how much it was. I don't remember why, but I remember I asked for it back, and I never got it. I didn't argue because I never loaned people stuff that I can't do without.
Right.
So I didn't argue. I just mentally noted that if this person ever asked me for some money, the answer is no.
Right.
And it's not, I'm not being a jerk. I'm not being mean. I'm being me.
Right.
And I'm protecting my investment, which is myself. No, sorry. You know what I'm saying? People fail to realize that no is a complete sentence when you put a period behind it.
Right.
Like if I say no with a period, that's it. It's not why.
And people forget that's usually the first word you learn.
But people, they question your no. Like, well, why? How come? I said no. Right. Why you don't want to go? I just don't. I don't want to go.
Right.
Why you can't? I don't. I'm not in the mood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No. Can I have no? Like, that's a full sentence. Like, right. I don't have to explain anything to you. I explain because I choose to, but I don't really have to explain anything. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just live life on a positive, carefree, just you got to live life on a vibe of that it can be over in a split second.
That's right.
Everything can be taken away from you in a split second. Your whole dynamics can change in a split second. Like people don't realize that you can talk to somebody at 7:00 and at 7:01 you'll never talk to them again. Right. Like people don't realize it until it like really happens to them. And then they're like, oh, they're on the Facebook, like, oh man, that was my bro. Right. And he invited me to the party and I didn't go and I wish I had gone. Oh, he just called me and I hit ignore. I should have talked to him. Right. Like appreciate people while they're here. That's you know what I'm saying? Like, and I know like we all over the place, man, but like when stuff like comes to me, like that's as real as it gets. You know, like life is a gift and you unwrap it in the present. Like it's a present, you unwrap it. You know, you can't undo the past. You learn from it. You can teach from it and you anticipate the future, but we all know that the future at some point ends. Everybody's story ends at some point, and it's kind of like, what have you done with your portion of this world, like this earth? Like, what have you done? What have you accomplished? What have you tried to accomplish? Right. You know, and to like really dig deep into this, like I'm knocking myself right now because I took a break as if I was going to live forever. Right. When in reality, I should have never took a break, but I needed one. Right. You know what I'm saying? But you don't know like when your last day is going to be. Right. So what are you leaving on the table? Like, what are you leaving undone? You know, if you want to do a podcast, go ahead and do it. You want to do a short film, go ahead and do it. You want to do a movie, go ahead and do it. You want to audition for a movie, go ahead and do it. You want to write a book, go ahead and write it. You want to write an article, go ahead and do it. You want to be a model, go ahead and do it. Like, you gotta just do the things that you want to do, because you're gonna live with a regret as you get older. You're gonna regret like so many things. And like, I look at my son, my oldest son, he lives with me now, and I look at him and I'm just like, bro, like, you remind me of me.
Right.
And he's a beast on the football field. And I'm looking at him like, yo, would I have been that good or better? But I don't know, because of the regret, the fact that my senior year, I tried out for the team and then I just quit because I was like, I want to do other things. Like, I want to chase girls. So I quit.
Right.
But I don't know like how good I would have been. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. And it's a regret that I have. Right. So just imagine 20 years from now, all the regrets that people our age are going to have when we 50, 60, talking about what we should have done, could have done. Oh man, when Instagram first came out, we should have did this. Just do it. Like, anything that you have.
The funny thing
is, just do it, man.
And it goes back full circle. A lot of times the reason why we didn't do it was on some type of fear that was involved in it.
Fear, laziness, procrastination, doubt, which would go with fear, lack of knowledge, which everything kind of ties into fear, because if you have a lack of knowledge, you can actually go get the knowledge, because these kids don't even know what an encyclopedia is. They have Google. So,
right.
They
have no idea. Back in the day, did you have the Britannica?
Britannica, bro. Like, my mama spent, I guess, an astronomical amount of money to have these books that after 2 or 3 years were outdated, but you still had them.
Right.
These kids, they get information like this, you know what I'm saying? They can log on Facebook and be like, ask Facebook. Even though you could Google it, they can ask Facebook and still get the answer. So, it boils down to fear, man. And I have a fear that I'm not going to be able to accomplish everything that I want to accomplish. And I have a fear that the world won't be as safe as I'm trying to make it for my children and my grandchildren. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of want the world to be perfect, even though it's not. I want to save everybody, even though you can't save everybody. But I want to be able to touch lives and do so much good that when it comes down to my kids or kids that I come into contact with or families that I come into contact with, that they're so blessed off that no harm comes their way. Right. Only blessings and abundance come to them. You know, I want my kids to walk into a store and somebody be like, hey, may I help you? Oh, you Sean's kid? How may I help you? Right. The energy I want, because when people know you, they know of you, they know your family, it's just different. It's just a different type of vibe when you walk into a room. Mm-hmm. Like, you walk in a room and nobody knows you, they'll walk by you. Mm-hmm. But if they know you, hey, you need anything? You good? Right. Can I get you a glass of water? That's what I want for my kids. Like, I want them to walk into a venue or an establishment and get a free drink because of who their dad was. Right. I want somebody to come to them and say, hey, man, your dad changed my life. He spoke to me one day, and because of him, I went to college. I got a 4-year degree. Now I got my own kids, or your dad talked to me and I ended up getting out of the car with some of my friends. They went to jail. I didn't. Like, that's what I want. Right. Life-changing type things. Like life-changing events, just to make the world a better place. Like that song, let them lead the way. And like literally, like that was playing in my head, and it's the truth. Right. I just want the best, man. You know what I'm saying? And as you get older, you start to look at everything different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like 10 years ago, 10 years ago, I couldn't have I'll take it back, like 15 years ago. I couldn't have a car without some rims on it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a guy have a system in it, some rims. I got to be stunting, you know what I'm saying? Now just give me a car.
Yeah.
Because I would rather pull up at home and stunt that way than pull up in a fancy car, but I don't own anything. You know, my mentality is different. But I just want the best, you know, for especially my community. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like I was looking at on YouTube today, and the guy Tekashi 6ix9ine got arrested, and you know, indictments and all that stuff. And it's like somebody could have pulled him to the side and really schooled him, because not only was he getting his money taken by his people, but now he's in jail for like some federal stuff. And it just, you know, it just need more people to check you. You know what I'm saying? To not co-sign on your BS, but to actually check you and stop agreeing with everything you do, and to be real with you and say, hey, look, I went through this.
All right.
You know, it's that whole line, I went through it, so you ain't got to go through this. Like, it's the truth. You know, like when I talk to my son, man, we talk with since he's been living with me, like we had these talks, and he just like, man, you did that for real? And I'm like, yeah, you know. And I tell him like some of the wild stories. I'm like, yeah, you know, because at certain points in my life, I was lost. And when we have, you know, dialogue or situations arise, I have to think about what was I doing at his age. Mm-hmm. So I'm always considerate of when he says he want to go to a party. I'm like, I don't want to go. But I remember the days that my mother wouldn't let me go, or I had to be home super early before the party really jumped off. Right. So I try to think about, you know, where I was at in life. But my phone's going on, broke my train of thought, man. But, you know, I just try to think about where I was, how I was going. And when I expressed to him certain things like, you know, yeah, I did this, or I was lost at this point in life, you know, it's not to brag about it. It's to teach him like, hey, you know, you don't have to do these things. You're going to make mistakes. Mm-hmm. You're going to make a ton of mistakes, but you ain't got to make these. Right. You know what I'm saying? You can make your own mistakes, and me and you both can learn from your mistakes. But the ones I already made, you don't have to make those. You know, and for the most part, he's a good kid, so he gets it. You know, but having a 16-year-old son in this day and age, and now having like my first little girl, it makes me appreciate what I do for the community. Mm-hmm. And it actually makes me go harder, because I don't want none of them to go through the things that I went through. You know what I'm saying? And like my daughter, I don't want her to go through half of the things that I put women through. You get what I'm saying?
Right, like, I get what you're saying.
And like I tell my son, you know, like I wish I had a elder male, you know, it doesn't have to be a dad. Like I just wish I had an elder male to like give me the real game, not the fake game where it's like you running it. More so, this is how you treat not only women but people. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you could do your BS. You know what I'm saying? You can do whatever you want to do. You could do that, but it's a certain way you treat people. And I didn't have that. So, you know, just recently, man, like what, maybe 3 weeks ago, the girl that I used to talk to, I was in her inbox apologizing to her. And it wasn't like I just reached out and was apologizing, but like we was talking about something, and I was just like, you know, I'm sorry. And this is from 1999, maybe? Wow. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, I don't know if I ever told you, but I'm sorry. And I meant it, because we don't know how we affect people. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really don't.
Just like we was talking about earlier, like holding that stuff in. You don't know what she's holding in
at all, bro. Like, because you can ruin a girl so bad that they don't date properly ever after. And you don't know it because you done moved on, you doing your own thing, and they're not gonna just come out and offer that knowledge, that information to you unless someone inquires. And if you be like, hey, I'm sorry, and they may say, well, thank you, because of you, I didn't ever have a relationship, and now you sitting there messed up, like, damn. But you don't know what people have bottled up, and a lot of times people are messed up behind other people.
Yes, they are.
The interactions and stuff. So I just try to treat people good, man. You walk into a business and you're searching, for the boss, and you just keep walking past all the people that work there, and you're putting the boss on this pedestal, but without the janitor, without the doorman, without the receptionist, without all those people, he's nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And those people that you walk past, if you just took the time to speak to a few of them, they could have told you what door he was in. Mm-hmm. They could have told you, the receptionist could have told you, he's in a meeting, but you could sit here and wait and I'll make sure he gets your message. Like, it's just certain things that people don't appreciate. They don't get it. Like, they got the eye on the prize, They walk into the club, they want to meet the owner. Right. The owner is not the most powerful person in the club. The owner is the person that if something happens, they're going to shut the club down. It's his loss. Right. But it's the security guard, the lady take the money, the bartender. You get good with those people, you have a good night. Right. That's right. You know what I'm saying? Oh, what's up, bro? Yeah, he good. Even though they should pat you down, but they be like, oh, he good. Right. Then you get to the door, the lady, she be like, oh, he good. So you didn't pay. Then you get to the bar, the bartender, you tipping them good. They making sure you. Right. So life is good. You didn't meet the owner not one time. Right. But you had the best night. Mm-hmm. And, just got to appreciate the small victories. So before we close out, what's the one thing that you want to, well, before we get to that, how can the audience go purchase your book? Amazon. And your other things that you merchandise Amazon, you got. Man, Sean Archer, The Art of Choosing, A Guide to Attracting and Choosing and Keeping the Right Partner. New book is coming soon. I don't want to even get the title out, but you're going to love it. Okay. You're going to love it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just, I've already started writing it. And then I took a break, and I'm writing, I took a break. So I'm just trying to get the direction and the flow. I know what I want to accomplish, but I need to figure out how. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? So how can we get in touch with you? Instagram at He Speaks Volumes, Twitter at He Speaks Volumes, Facebook at He Speaks Volumes. He Speaks Volumes. With an S. Yeah, with an S. Xbox Live. You know what I'm saying? Sean Archer 205. I'm on there. You know what I'm saying? Holla at me. You will get that 2K19. Boy, I'm dropping them off. He Speaks Volumes at gmail.com. Just reach out, man. I get emails all the time from people who have issues through my little email list, and I just help them. Right. It's people from Africa. So you have to kind of get into the culture, because it's a different culture. You know what I'm saying? So when they start talking, they're like, yeah, our culture, we not do, you got to kind of read it in their language. We not do, baby out of wedlock, just different little things. But you have to help them because it's a universal, help is universal. You know what I'm saying? So you just help them. And so He Speaks Volumes at gmail.com. I would get my phone number out, but I don't feel like it. You won't be blown up. I get too many, so. Well, thank you, bro, for coming by. My man, 50 grand. All right. This is your host, CB Baker. Till next time.